Hey y'all, it's Katie and welcome back. For today's video, we're going to talk about indie makeup, and not just indie makeup, but indie makeup that I just sit here and dream about owning. So if you guys saw Emily Noel, she recently started a tag that's been going around called the $1,000 Fantasy Sephora cart, and the idea behind the tag is if you had $1,000 to spend on Sephora, what would your cart look like? And I saw that and I thought it was interesting, but I mean, to be honest, I can't remember the last time I ordered something from Sephora. It's been that long. There's just nothing that interested me, and when I saw that I was like, oh, maybe I can do that for Ulta. But even Ulta, I recently placed an order, and it's been ages since I've ordered from them because nothing really excites me, and I've just been buying so much in indie. So I kind of waited a little bit and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do Ulta, maybe I won't. And then of course Amy had the brilliant idea to take the tag and just do indie makeup instead of, you know, Sephora. And I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So since I couldn't think of it, I'm going to just follow Amy's lead, and I'm going to do a $1,000 fantasy cart for indie makeup. I will have both Emily Noel and Amy Loves Makeup, their channels linked down below, so you guys can go check out their videos that they did. But yeah, I'm super excited to get into this. It was actually very hard to only have $1,000 to spend. I thought like $1,000, that sounds like so much. And then I started writing down just top of my list those products that I'm always eyeing, but they're just too expensive or I just can't you know, justify the purchase. And I probably put down like 10 things and I was already like at $2,000. So I was like, oh, that was a big reality check. So I went over the list a couple times, I worked with it, and now I have about $1,000 that I would spend. We'll get into the nitty gritty in a minute. But yeah, before we jump in, I do want to give my Instagram shout out of the day. And going to my most recent post that I put on my Instagram account, the Instagram shout out for today is Mia_N_Dan. And I'll go scoot over here. But Maria is the Instagram shout out for today. And thank you so much for interacting with my content and leaving a comment. If you wanted a chance to be featured as an Instagram shout out in my new video, all you have to do is be following me on Instagram and leave comments, like, and all that good stuff on my recent posts kind of as I post them. And whenever I sit down, I just go to my most recent post, randomly choose a commenter, and shout them out in a video. So now with all that said, let's jump right into talking about my fantasy indie makeup cart. Alright, so I am scooted over right now, zoomed in a little closer too because I felt a little far away. But anyway, as I said, I had about $1,000, and I'll get into why, like what put me over and what I kind of did to justify my total. But let's just jump into the first thing. The very first thing on my list of what I would want to buy, I actually kind of took off of Amy Loves Makeup, her video, because she said the Musee Beauty Impressionism Palette. And the reason that she gave is the exact reason that it's kind of like on my wish list. I don't think I'll ever buy it because it's kind of like already out. It's already the new thing. A video's already out on it. So by the time I bought it and all that stuff, get it and actually try it like next month or whatever, I just feel like it won't be worth it as like an investment to my YouTube channel for me to get it. But yeah, the Musee Beauty Impressionism Palette is so very pretty. When I first saw it, I mentioned it in the Will I Buy It, talking about new makeup releases that I did not too long ago, and I was talking about how beautiful it is. And then Annette's Makeup Corner got it and did a bunch of looks with it and raved review on it. And she did this eye look that kind of featured around the red in that palette, that matte red, and I was just like, that is a beautiful red. Like, matte reds can be really hard and tricky to do and to like formulate and be able to apply correctly onto your eyes. But seeing that look blended out in her eye look, it just looks so beautiful and so true to color. So yeah, as soon as I saw Annette's video, I kind of regretted not getting it even more, but I don't plan to get it at this point. Another reason that kind of talked me out of it is because it is $42, so a little bit pricier, and then with, you know, shipping and all that added to it, I've just spent a lot on eyeshadows and makeup in general, but a lot on eyeshadow palettes recently, and I was trying to cool my jets, and then seeing Annette's video, I just had like instant regrets. But yeah, that's one that if I had $1,000 to spend, and I should have said that for the $1,000, I'm not going to include like tax and shipping just because I would get a little too nitpicky, a little too time consuming, and just, you know, this is all the fantasy, so just $1,000 of the makeup products, not including shipping and all that. But anyway, yeah, that would be my first $42 of my $1,000 spent because that palette looks so pretty, and the looks that Annette did from it, gorgeous. Okay, so next, if I had $1,000, I would most definitely be going over to Clionadh, because if I had $1,000 to spend, I think they're even doing pre-sale now. I think I wouldn't be able to get it to September or October, but I wouldn't care, because if I had that much money to spend, I would just get a couple of their bundles and call it a day, because that is the hardest thing. Their bundles are expensive, but besides that, the hardest part is like trying to decide on the colors and like what I should pick, and I just get so overwhelmed shopping Clionagh's website. So I went on there and I picked two bundles. The first bundle I would get will be the Clionadh Iridecent Multichrome, their Series 1, this collection right here, and that retails, if I did the conversion correctly, to $57.46. And I feel like this would give me such beautiful inner corner and very unique shadows to my collection, so it would be well worth the bundle and well worth the price. And then I also want to grab the Clionadh Vibrant Multichrome bundle, which retails for, in USD, $92.08, which is a hefty price right there. But yeah, I would pick that bundle, and I feel like between those two I would have very unique, very fun multichromes to add to my collection, and I would just get to try Clionadh as a brand altogether, and I would just be so happy. And just looking at that right now, that's like almost $150. I can't see myself spending that anytime soon in my own personal budget, but if I had $1,000 to spend, I would for sure go ahead and splurge on those two and finally try Clionadh Cosmetics. Moving on, another thing that I would want to get is BK Beauty. Now, BK Beauty is something I've been eyeing, but I always kind of just talk myself out of it because it is expensive. But AmyLovesMakeup and Britt Clark and several other YouTubers have been raving about them so much. I now want them. They just look so beautiful, and I've really been getting into a lot more high-end brushes, and I feel like I just need to try them. They're called BK Beauty for Be Kind, and just overall the brand itself just seems amazing. I like what they stand behind, and they donate a lot of what they earn and their profits to charity, which is amazing. And like I said, the brushes themselves have been spoken about so highly from both Amy and Britt. Karen, I believe, or she just recently got them. Anyway, we're all kind of getting hooked on BK Beauty all of a sudden, but I am definitely eyeing them. And if I were to make a purchase and I had $1,000 to spend, I would just get the Essentials Eye and Face Brush Collection, which retails for $225. Yeah, that's expensive. But okay, so this is the part where I went over a little bit, and my total was over by, where was that? $18. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I was going through trying to like take something away, but it's only $18. So I was having a hard time trying to figure out what to take away. And then I remembered that AmyLovesMakeup, Britt Clark, and maybe even Karen Harris, they all have like 10% off discount codes. So I would, of course, use the 10% discount code, which could be applied at any time of year. So in my mind, this brush set I'm putting for $202.50 because I would use the 10%, and that way I'm underneath $1,000. So that's the only one I kind of smudged the rules a little bit to make it work. But regardless, if I had $1,000 to spend, I mean, I'd be getting that, and I'd definitely use a code. Even if I had $1,000 to spend that wasn't mine, I'd still be using codes anywhere and everywhere I could. So moving on to the next thing, I've been talking about how I've been getting into more fancy brushes, and I actually do have several Sonia G brushes, and I absolutely love them. A video on them is coming fairly soon, hint hint, but I would want to get more. And so if I had $1,000, I would definitely be making a purchase through Beautylish to get more Sonia G brushes. And the two sets that I picked out, because I'm just such a fanatic when it comes to eyeshadow brushes, but I would get the Sonia G Sky Eye Brush Set for $160. This looks so beautiful. I love all the little detail brushes. They look so small, so uniquely shaped, and I tell you, the brushes are really nice. They are expensive. I'm not gonna deny that at all. I mean, I've bought almost all of my brushes except one or two of Sonia G brushes. I buy them through like Mercari or Poshmark, and I wait for someone to post them for a very discounted price before I buy them. They're expensive, I totally agree with you, but if I had $1,000, I would be splurging. And so yeah, I would get this set, and then I would also get the Sonia G Pro Eye Set. I know, I'm crazy when it comes to eyeshadow brushes, but for me, like, eyeshadow brushes are such a necessity, and since I'm using such colorful palettes all the time and I just don't have the time to wash them all, I like to have several different types of brushes, or different brushes, all different sizes, so I can constantly be using them, because I only wash my brushes every 1 to 2 weeks if I'm doing good, but like 3 to 4 weeks if I'm doing bad, so I need a lot of brushes. So I wouldn't mind having a lot, and I mean, as it is now, I only have like 3, so I wouldn't mind having a ton of Sonia G brushes because they are really good. But yeah, that retails for $150. Pretty darn pricey, but well worth splurging on during this $1,000 fantasy shopping trip in the indie makeup world. Ugh, if only it wasn't fantasy. And so the next one, I picked going shopping at Give Me Glow and buying all of the palettes that I don't own from them. I don't like to have the collector mentality when it comes to brands and trying to collect all their palettes, but Give Me Glow is one of them that, if I had $1,000 to spend, I'd definitely just go on their website and order all the other palettes that I don't have, because not only is their packaging really pretty, but their eyeshadow quality is amazing, and there's a few brands that I wouldn't mind collecting all of them, and this would be one of them if I had a bunch of money to spend and I didn't have to worry about like budgeting it and making sure it's well worth the purchase and whatnot. So with that said, I would purchase the Give Me Glow Summer Vibes palette. This retails for $54. This palette I didn't get because I did go ahead and get the Extra Spicy palette, which is what I have on my eyes today, and I felt like the colors were too similar to justify the two purchases. So yeah, I would purchase this one. I'd also get the Give Me Glow Vintage Rose palette. This one I've always been intrigued by. Oh yeah, it's $34, but I've never purchased it just because, well, I like some of the colors. I'm not in love with all of the colors, so I just couldn't justify the purchase. But as I said, I would just, during this $1,000 shopping spree, I would want to just collect all the palettes because I like Give Me Glow. So yeah, I would grab the Vintage Rose. I would also get the Give Me Glow. I don't know why I'm saying Give Me Glow, but the Grunge palette. You guys know this is all Give Me Glow. I would buy the Grunge palette. I feel like this would be a really good companion palette to like deepen up and grungify looks, because as the palette by itself, I'm not super interested in like the looks I could get just from that palette because they are very neutral, but overall, I like the grunge aspect, and as I said, I just want to collect them all. And that one retails for $41. And then the last palette that I don't own from Give Me Glow is their Christmas palette. And like I said, this would just be to be a collector of Give Me Glow and what they have out right now, and be able to have a bunch of their palettes and have a bunch of their shadows to go to and whatnot. This overall seems like a really cute palette. I will say with this Christmas palette, I want to say it was Beauty Bean who did like 3 looks and totally made me want to go buy it. So I feel like I would get some fun looks out of it, even though, you know, I'm not totally into the color story. I feel like it'd be one of those palettes to kind of take me outside my comfort zone and make me do looks that I probably wouldn't initially think I'd enjoy, but once I do them, I really like them. So yeah, that one retails for $34, and with that purchase, I would own all of Give Me Glow's current, like the current palettes they have. I think they have a few that they've discontinued, but I would have a lot of Give Me Glow palettes in my collection just because I like them. Okay, so then last step to hit the $1,000 and complete my indie makeup shopping spree, I would make a purchase with Natasha Denona for the Metropolis palette. Now I will say, you know, this palette doesn't overall like excite me in the color story, but I feel like there is aspects of the palette that I would really enjoy, just that grungy kind of dirty sounds like a weird way to describe that palette, but you know, the grungy, really mustardy tones that are in that palette, I feel like I would absolutely love. And while all the looks that I would get from it would be very neutral, there's days that I like neutral. You guys know I love the Killer Pearl, and even if I, you know, took that palette and just did a pop of some other color with all that grunge, I feel like I would really like it. So while the whole palette as a whole isn't exactly my cup of tea, I feel like I would still get good use out of the palette and I would still be able to enjoy it. And out of all of Natasha Denona's palettes, that's the one that intrigues me most. That's always the one I'm going like, ooh, maybe one day, but not today. But if I had $1,000 to spend, I feel like this would be the perfect time with a $1,000 free shopping spree kind of thing. It'd be the time to try Natasha Denona, so I would pick that up at the same time that I'm picking up my Sonia G brushes from Beautylish on this little fantasy all in a made-up world shopping spree. But I would pick up the Metropolis palette to finally try Natasha Denona and see what the hype is about. Even though I will say, when I did my 5 brands I'm surprised I haven't tried yet video, I had a lot of people leaving comments saying like, her Natasha Denona isn't all that. So now I'm even more intrigued. I shouldn't say even more intrigued. I am kind of more okay with not trying them because more people don't like them, but part of me is even more intrigued to be like, wait a minute, which side of the fence would I be on? Because there are some people who absolutely love her formula and love everything about her, and especially that Metropolis palette, and then there's some people in my comments who are like, the Metropolis palette really wasn't good. I'd be curious to see which side of the aisle I'd be on. But anyway, yeah, with that final purchase, my total in this fantasy $1,000 shopping spree in the indie world came to $996.04. Now remember, that is including the 10% discount I would get with BK Beauty. I know I'm sponging the rules. If I didn't use that discount, my total would be $1,018.54. So I'd be a little bit over, but $1,000. It'll be okay. This is all in a made-up world anyway, so it's okay if it's not exact. But yeah, that would be my shopping spree. So those are the things that I will grab in my fantasy $1,000 indie shopping spree. I forget the title. I feel like I totally butchered Amy's title. But anyway, that is what I would pick up. Those are the items that I would splurge on and just grab, and seeing if it's like worth getting for my channel, or if it's worth the investment, or if I have enough budget, $1,000, without putting too much thought in it and just kind of focusing on the things that I always like want to splurge on and whatnot. Those are the products I would get, so let me know. I will say though, there was part of me that just wanted to spend the $1,000 on just brushes. And when I was sitting down like writing all the brush sets that I see and that I want, like I was thinking even picking up some Wayne Goss, getting more of the Sonia G, maybe even getting a couple Hakuhoda and whatnot. I was like, you know what, it's gonna be really boring to just watch me ramble on about brushes. So I could totally have spent $1,000 just on luxury brushes, but I wanted to spice it up a little bit, so I held myself back, and I got some Clionadh, which I totally do want, so I feel like it was fitting to kind of mix it up and get a little bit of brushes and a little bit of makeup. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. If you had $1,000 and kind of could splurge in an aspect in the indie makeup world, whether it be brushes or makeup, whatnot, what would you want to get? Or if you don't want to sit there and think of $1,000, I totally understand. What's the one thing that you just off the top of your head, if money wasn't an issue, you would totally grab it and buy it? Let me know that down in the comments below. But yeah, with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Per usual, hit the thumbs up button on your your way out, as it helps me in the whole YouTube algorithm. And if you want to continue getting content from me, I am posting almost every day over on Instagram, and I'm LadyKatie92 over there. But yeah, with all that said, once again, just thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.